We're here with Lucas, Esports Director of Oklahoma Christian University. He's gonna add value to us today, and he's gonna talk about his program and all the opportunities. So thank you very much, Lucas.
Of course, thank you, Ivan.
So before we start, talking about your program, can you tell us a bit about your journey into how you became an esports director?
Yeah, 100%. So, my name is Lucas, as I said. I actually started building out this collegiate esports program myself as a student back in 2019 in December, right before COVID. I got scouted and hired by the athletic director, the one who's over all the traditional sports, and he brought me in as a GA for building out this esports program. And for the first 3-ish months, I was really gaining steam, getting traction, cold calling people, and kind of understanding more about what collegiate esports is and how it's so much different from actual regular competitive esports in the amateur and pro scene. And then COVID hit, and everything changed. My entire trajectory and all that stuff changed. But the underlying kind of benefit and faucet of what collegiate esports is kind of stayed true and held true. So I built it actually with me and 3 Rocket League players. I never played Rocket League before in my life before that day, and so it was a super interesting kind of start. My background's in FPS mainly. Played way too much like CS:GO, so it was an interesting start. And then I was able to kind of build it as a GA, and then eventually finish my masters, get recruited to be full time, and then now we have scholarships. We're under athletics. We have a facility. We have all the opportunity to recruit in the world, and so that really gave me a good boost to my vision in the program, which allowed me to kind of build to what I am now. And so, in year zero, so me and two, actually, it was me and 3 Rocket League players. Year one, it was about 17 students. Year two, we ended up being around 34 students. Last year, year three, we were around 64 students, and then this year we started with about 90 students. So we've been growing about 30-ish year over year, and I'm continuing that growth trajectory until we have 2 teams for every title that we support. And we support 14 titles at this exact moment. We'll probably get up to about 18 if we include the traditional EA Sports titles as they're building out. So FIFA, Madden, 2K, all of those. And so we're looking at about 190-ish players total before I'm really starting to plateau. So we need people of high talent in every single title. We have, as of this exact moment, I'll just read off my list of games. So right now we have Apex Legends, Call of Duty, Clash Royale, CS:GO, or now CS2 soon, Fortnite, Halo, League of Legends, Overwatch 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Rocket League, Super Smash Ultimate, Splatoon, Team Fortress 2, Valorant, and then VR with Beat Saber. And those are all recruited on scholarship. So just an interesting time. I wish I had this when I was a student, and I try to center myself in that with my vision. I try to make sure that I am trying to always think first about, if I was a student, would this change in this program be beneficial? Would I have liked this change, or would I have disliked this change? And so I try to make sure I'm taking their perspective in just as much as my own.
That is great. Like, not every esports director can say that they've been a student, they've got this program, and now they've become the esports directors. So having both perspectives is super important. And what are the skills you wanna like ingrain in students in their
Yeah.
college career so they can then use them in the workforce?
Yeah, 100%. So within the esports, there is just as much of a soft skill and critical analysis that you would gain from being in a team-based environment, just as you would in traditional sports, whether it be futsal or baseball, volleyball, basketball, swim, etc. All of the soft skills that you might gain, whether it be critical analysis, logical reasoning, just how to learn how to communicate to the team-based environment, learning how to collaborate, learning how to be constructive with your criticism and not hostile with your criticism. All those are very, very important skills that you have to learn to navigate with multiple different personalities, especially at the high level of competition, where it's basically the top 1,000 people in your region. You meet up with them online every single day because you're grinding 8 to 13 hours a day. You get to know those personalities, and all of them have different egos, and they all have different levels of ego. And learning how to navigate that and to learn your way to success is very, very crucial at the high level of competition. And so it's not just sitting and playing a video game and you're just like in solo queue, but you have 5 new teammates. It is completely different. So I'm trying to train people what that difference is. I'm trying to make sure that they're understanding the skills that they need to succeed on whatever field it might be, whether it be in D Dust 2 or whether it be on Summoner's Rift. I don't care. Like I don't mind. I definitely do care. Man. I've been trying to trade that out of myself, but it's a really bad habit. But it's a skill set that is taught through a high level of competitive team play, not
Mhm.
just individual play. Even in games that are considered single player, like the fighting game communities, like Tekken, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, Super Smash Brothers, those titles typically have crew battles, which are team based games and game modes. And so we competed those even at the collegiate level. So there's always something positive to learn outside of just competitive. There are also, to answer the other half of this coin, there are also other professional skill sets that you can learn that would gear you towards an internship or an actual full time career. Those might be graphic design, social media, video editing, community management, news writing, and article editing. There are a ton of skill sets out there. And I have a leadership team right now of people that are doing some sort of specialty in one of those fields with 11 people. And so if someone were to come in next semester or next year, there's already sort of a legacy and sort of a trial and error period done with that.
Mhm.
And I'm wanting to expand upon that year over year, semester over semester, and build that to the highest level. So we're wanting to create a website, a monthly newsletter. We're already managing social media accounts. I'm teaching every single team leader how to stream an unlisted VOD on YouTube and cut it and edit it. And then the list goes on and on, man. I can talk forever about this stuff. This is what I do day in, day out. But yeah,
And do you offer like volunteer positions or like work like paid positions to those students like
it
in what you
depends.
mentioned, graphic design?
Yeah. Yeah, it depends. So for those, for the leadership positions, some of them are like my team captains. Like I have a team captain, team manager for Rocket League, and I have one for Call of Duty. And both of those guys are on scholarship for being a team manager and not a player.
Hmm.
But they're also the leadership group. The leadership group is completely voluntary. It is something that is open, but you have to be serious about because I'm devoting a lot of my time. I would say probably 40% of my job right now is really gearing those 11 people up and giving them like tasks and making sure I'm more or less kind of supervising them. I don't want to say micromanaging, but I'm very supervising them and I'm giving them tasks and I'm checking up with them. I'm keeping them accountable on their growth as leaders. And so that is super, super important to me and I really love it. And it's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I'm glad I could finally do it. But the support staff skill set, like the social media management and the graphic design, team managing, coaching, all those are scholarship opportunities as well as the leadership side. So if someone's a really good player and they want to compete, but they also do want to learn a little bit of one of those skills on the side, that is voluntary. It's not an increase in scholarship or anything. It is a voluntary skill set that they can learn. But if someone wants to come specifically for photography, social media, video editing, something like that, and they don't want to compete, that this is their path to scholarship, they're going to have to put a lot of more time and energy and effort into that. But they can get a varsity level scholarship for that skill set.
That's amazing. Like being like studying your major and then being able to apply
Yes,
everything learned in the
that
esports
is the
program and
exact goal.
even get paid in some occasions if it's a full-time thing is like
Yeah,
amazing. You know,
that
like
is the
not every
exact goal.
country or university can say they do that. So that's amazing. And how do you make sure students balance their academics
Yeah,
with their practice and competition
yeah,
and have a bit of s- social life? Like,
yeah.
how do you make
How's the balance, basically? How's
yeah,
the time
basically,
balance? Yeah, for sure. So this was something over the past few years I've had to do a lot of trial and error on, but I found at least the last year worked basically perfectly, and this year so far it's working really well. In the past, I used to have a standard like amount of time per week that every team had to do. So in the past, I used to do like 15 hours a week, and you had to set your own schedule, that kind of stuff. That was a total waste of time. It was really, really bad. I
Mhm.
found that the best way to manage the time and to make sure that the expectations are met and you're getting what you want out of it is to push the culture down to the bottom level. So let every team decide themselves with my advice, but decide what is important to them, how much time do they want to put into this, how many times per week do they want to scrim, do they want to do a 2 block or a 3 block for scrims, do they
Mm.
want to do VOD review, do they want to bring in an external coach to do VOD review, do they have someone in mind already, or do they need help trying to find someone? All of these things can really change, but I let the teams themselves, every single person on the team has a voice, and I make sure of that, but every single person on that team decides together what is important to them, how much time do they want to do. For example, my Call of Duty team, all four of them play high level of like challengers, which is like NACL for League of Legends, for example. It's the
Mhm.
amateur league. It's not collegiate. It is definitely not collegiate locked at all. All four of them play on separate teams, pretty much. They might team up every now and then, but they mostly play separate. And then they come together once to 3 times a week just for the college matches. They don't scrim. They don't do any college practices together. They just get in for the actual matches because they're spending so much time together outside of the game. They're spending so much time just bonding, going and playing basketball, going and working out together, eating together, talking. They go over strats and stuff, but they all play against each other in the highest level of gameplay. And so it kind of becomes scrims because they are practicing and learning their true competitive skill sets and playing against them with pretty high stakes. Sometimes it's like $20,000. And so it is a unique culture, but I can't then go in and tell them, hey, you have to be in the office for 15 hours a week. That is just completely antithetical to what would actually be beneficial for them. So I gave them a lot of freedom, and I gave all the other teams a lot of freedom. On the other radical side is like our Rainbow Six Siege team. They do everything together as a college team. They don't even really play
Mhm.
ranked together that much outside of a 5 stack, and so it is completely different. So our Call of Duty team, they came in being super strong, very high level amateur players. Our Rainbow Six Siege team came in. 2 of them were Plat 3, 3 of them were Gold 1, and now 4 of them are champion and one is Diamond 3 because of how much time they're spending together and what they're learning, going over VODs and competing. They were basically a JV team, and then they came in, played really well, made it to nationals last year of every division, like the highest level division, and they're now like 4 champs, top 1,000 in all of North America. So, and they're all Brazilian international recruits, all 6 of them. So it is super, super awesome. But their culture is different. So I support it. I support the infrastructure and the time balance from every single standpoint. I don't just look at it in a bubble or in a silo. I make sure that every single little piece of it, whether it be your academics or if you have to work a part time job or if you have to support your family every now and then, whatever it might be, all of that, I take that into account and I work from the bottom up. I don't just say, you got to go do this and then follow through with that.
That's right. And for those students that want to, like, how do you also like focus on students that want to build their personal brand? Because I think
Yeah.
that's very important in the college experience, but also like when they go to a workforce, depending on what they want to do,
Yeah.
having a good following, knowing how to create a community and everything is super valuable to get
It is.
any job. And in the future, I think when like jobs are like how much salary you can negotiate will be like dependent on like your personal brand and how much value you can add to a business. So like, how are you focusing on that on students, the ones
Yeah.
that are interested in that?
Yeah, those are pretty integral. Those are really good questions, and those are unique. Not many people ask that, so that's good.
Hmm.
To focus on building your own personal brand, the first thing you need to do is to learn how to communicate first. You need to learn what's important in communication, how to communicate well, and how to communicate efficiently and concisely. I'm not really good at it, but I try, and I try to educate other people for the things that I learn and the mistakes that I go over, and I use my own lived experience as an example, especially since I'm talking to new people every single day. Since November of 2021, where I really started recruiting, I have a spreadsheet of every single person that I talk to, and that is over 500. 500 students specifically that I talk to on a unique day-to-day basis. So it is a learned skill, definitely. I'm a very big introvert. I do not really gain a lot of energy from being around people. I need my time to go and retreat. So it is a trained skill. I've become ambidextrous, so to speak, regarding communication. And learning how to build your own personal brand starts there. Once you can learn how to communicate, and once you learn what's super important to you as an individual, then you can start building a brand around that specific thing. So if you are, for example, I have a student that's in Fortnite. His name is Caden. my student Cadian, he is very, very much into the traditional content creation route. So learning how to do YouTube and live streaming and TikTok and all that stuff. And I haven't had too much of a hand in his growth because he's came in really strong with his growth. But I'm going to be working with him on a very frequent basis on exactly what to do for building a brand and how to negotiate these different contracts and what to do with sponsorships and how to push that from a traditional content creation standpoint. He has 160,000 followers on TikTok and almost 50K subs on YouTube. Like, as
Hmm.
an 18-year-old playing Fortnite, that's pretty good. So he has a very unique standpoint where I can kind of help bolster what he's already built. But I've had other students that were really interested in starting to build a brand, and I've been pushing with them on giving them really good content, educating them on different standpoints, like teaching them what an evergreen space is, teaching them how the algorithms work on different content creation areas. So within esports, the biggest thing for our side is building a brand through content and professional awareness. But I do understand what you're probably getting at, which is the professional branding. And so that is very dependent on what field you want to go into. If you are a creative, film, graphic design, fine arts, something like that, you need a portfolio. You need a reel. You need something that can showcase your actual creative talent.
Hmm.
But if you're more of a professional or a HR or business, computer science, something like that, you need a good CV or resume. And I actually tutor people and work on those. So I know both sides. I know quite a bit about the creative area because I work with our gaming and animation arts department. So I know quite a bit about portfolios and reels and all that. And then I also know quite a bit about CVs and resumes, especially being an academics with a master's. Like, kind of done it all. So it's more of there's not like a one size fits all for the professional development side, but for like the content creation side, there definitely is a step, and there's a way to do it from a science standpoint and not purely a gambling luck standpoint.
Yeah. Especially like for example, like you put like your student Hayden like developing his like like personal brand, and also like
Yeah,
how to recruit like more students, like people like potential students look on the player, like not the school always.
yeah,
So like if Hayden goes to a school, more friends want to go to a school, and also like in the workforce, like it's always useful. And
yes.
how would you say is the ratio of students that want to go to esports industry and the ratio of the students that just the students that want to,
Honestly,
yeah.
if I want to be super honest about it, because like I've gone through 4 years, I've gone through one full recruiting cycle, really, and I've had some people that I recruited as freshmen that are now graduated. I would really say probably like 5% are serious about getting into the industry.
Hmm.
Everyone says, yeah, I want to do computer science because I love video games. Everyone says, yeah, I wanted to do art because I wanted to go make skins for Riot. Like, you can say it, but if you don't work on it and work on your own time outside of class and build a portfolio, build a reel, go try to pursue an internship, all of those things, you're not serious about it. And I won't put the time in to help you. But if you are serious, I have a whole host and list of opportunities. I have 3 new companies I'm meeting with every single week to develop actual relationships with. So, for example, I have a new relationship with a company, a Fortune 500 billion-dollar company within esports and gaming. I can't say who because they're not done yet, but they are building an exclusive internship opportunity that you have to be part of this academy program that they have in order to actually get an opportunity to even apply for this internship. But these are endemic, really high level internships that will gear them immediately to go into AAA. So like these relationships are being built specifically for college esports programs that are taking it seriously. I got on a call with these guys. They've already talked with 2 or 3 other schools, and then they get in a call with me. And then, I mean, this is a real humble brag, but they get in a call with me and they're like, wow, these other guys, they just wanted to try to sell us something. You like actually wanted to build a relationship, and that really stood out to us. And so that's kind of been my goal this whole year is to build relationships and networks. That way, the students that do take this seriously, that want to get into the field, that want to do more with their life than just try to compete and earn 3 grand for a week in tournaments, those people I want to build up. I want to devote a vast majority of my time. Right now, I'm doing 40%. I eventually want that to be like 80% of my job. I want the other 20 to be just maintaining and getting up to date updates on my relationships. That's really what I want to do as a director, as someone who can help the direction of the program and help the vision of the program and the growth of them, the students themselves. I want to hire a competitive general manager that can help run the day-to-day operations. I don't want to just do that forever. And my GA right now, my head League of Legends coach, he is already basically doing that. He's the competitive GM of the program. So, anyways, my esports program is more than just come play video game. It is come play video game, come do graphics, come do socials, come learn how to write an article, come learn how to talk to leaders in the industry, come get an internship, and then eventually graduate with a good, solid, strong 4-year degree that will set yourself up for the rest of your life.
Lucas, super well said, man. Like, uh, amazing. Like, to wrap this up, like, where can people find you and your program?
Yeah. Um, I'm a I have historically been a very like closed door person, so it's been a lot of me trying to find other people. But I've been trying to get myself more out there. If you look up OC Esports, college OC Esports, all of those should populate with Oklahoma Christian. My Twitter is super cringe. It is my username. But if you can find our Twitter at OC Esports underscore and then go in the bio, you can contact me directly. My tag is Maestro, but it is spelled very cringe and very French. So good luck trying to spell it. It's Maestraeux. So it's really dumb. But I was also like 14 when I made it, so whatever. But you can also email me at lucas.hayworth. So my name, hopefully it's on the screen somewhere. lucas.hayworth at oc.edu. So you can email me anytime. You can find me on Twitter. You can hit me up there. My Discord is the same as my Twitter, so just at Maestro. Just add me up, send me a DM. I'm an open door to literally anybody and everybody about collegiate esports. If you have any questions about colleges in particular or my college, the scene in general, any competitive side, literally anything, just reach out to me. I'm trying to be an open door for everyone.
Sounds great, Lucas. Well, we stay in touch, and thank you for all this valuable information.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Yvonne. Really appreciate it.